Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to grow fava beans microgreens or fava bean shoots. If you're wondering if these are the same fava beans that people grow in their garden, yes they are. Many people grow these in their garden, but they may not know that you can actually eat the shoots of the fava beans. Not only the pods are very delicious and nutritious, but you can actually eat the young shoots at the very tip of the plant. The shoots are even more delicious and tender. Today I'm going to show you how to grow it. So the items you would need are very simple. The first item you would need to get would be trays. These are sprouting trays that you can get online or maybe at your local gardening center. These are 10 by 20. And if you're going to get these, get two kinds. One with holes, as you can see here, and the one without holes. So the one without holes will stay at the bottom to catch your excess water. The top here is going to be where the microgreens will be. So when you water, the excess water will drip down to here, then you can pour that out. And these can be found on Amazon also, so go check there and you can find that there. The next item you will need is organic potting mix. This can be found at any home improvement center or your gardening center. Any organic potting mix would work. This is the only one that was available when I went to the store, so that's what we're going to use today. The third item is a spray bottle, and you can also get this in your gardening center. And finally, seeds, fava bean seeds. You can find these online. Just do a Google search for fava beans. You can probably find them anywhere. But if you are interested in where I got mine, just leave me a comment and I'll show you. To start sprouting, the first thing you would need to do is place your seeds into a large bowl and fill it up with water. We're gonna store this overnight for 24 hours before we start the growing process. For a 10 by 20 tray, you would need a measuring cup, I forgot to mention. So for 10 by 20, you would need a cup and a half. So here's a cup here, so you would fill the beans up to around right here or just all the way to the top. So we're going to soak this for 24 hours, then we'll come back and continue the growing process. Alright, here we are. My beans have been soaking for a little bit more than 24 hours. I forgot about these, but they're fine. You can soak them 24 hours, a little bit longer if you like. And notice they have started to sprout little tails right here. So let me show it to you. See there? So the beans are looking good. Alright, so now we're going to start the planting process. First, what we'll do is we'll put a thin layer of soil at the bottom of this tray. I put a little bit more, so that's about 4 cups. If your soil is dry, you want to spray this down to get it wet. Alright, that should be enough. So you want the soil nicely moist, more on the wet side. Next, what you do is you take your seeds. So I've rinsed this out many times. They're nice and clean now, so they're ready to be poured into here. And if you want to grow these in your garden, you can save a few. So I'll take a few here because I'll grow them in my backyard. Okay, now just use your hand and spread them all out. You can throw away these half seeds because they're not going to work. Just spread them all out just like so. And if some are laying on top of each other, that's fine. And you want to be gentle with these because their little roots are sticking out. You don't want to damage those. Next thing you do is put another thin layer of soil on top to cover the seed. And again, just use your hand to spread this all out and try to cover the seeds as much as you can, but you don't have to cover it completely. Alright, now give it another spray of water. Make sure it's nice and wet. So you want to water these very, very well, because the next few days you're not going to water these. And if you water too much, that's fine because these tray have holes, so they'll just fall through the bottom. And these are seeds, so you can't really overwater them right now. Then what you want to do now is, if you have an extra tray, place the tray on top like this. And then you're going to put that away somewhere. Anywhere is fine. I usually put this under the counter, because you don't want to expose this to light too early, And the reason for that is we're growing microgreens. We want our greens to be nice and tall. So in absence of light, those greens will try to find the light source. So it's going to try to push out and grow really tall. And that's the reason I have this cover on top. And in a few days, when it starts to grow, it will push the tray up just like this. But I'll let you see that soon. So for right now, just put the tray on top like this. If you don't have a tray, that's fine too. Just leave it like that and put it away in a darker area. But if you have a tray, then do that. So I'll keep the progress going. I'll let you see what the changes are in the next few days. Alright, here we are 2 days after the planting process. Let's check out what the beans look like. They all have started to sprout. As you can see there, they're digging out of the soil. It's okay to go ahead and give it a little bit of water because this container has holes, so if there's too much water, it'll drain out anyway. So we want our beans to be nice and moist. Alright, that should be enough. Then we're going to cover this up again. And we'll check on it in a few days. Today is day number 5. And the plants have just started to push the tray up. They're looking very, very nice. So let's open this up and take a look. Look at that. Nice and yellow. Very pretty. So every day, what you want to do is just give it a nice spray of water. Alright, you can do that twice a day. Once in the morning and once in the evening. Now, since they're getting really tall and you still want to shade them away from light, you want to flip the tray over like that and then hide them for another few days. Alright, today is day number 6 and the greens have just started to push the tray up. So this is a good indication that you can take this off and expose them to lights going forward. And you can put this by the window, or if you have indoor lights, you can put that under your lights, and these will start to turn green very, very quickly. In a few days, they should be ready, but they're nice and beautiful and yellow right now. Welcome back. Today is day number 8, and it is harvest time. My greens are ready to be cut. They're nice and beautiful. These can be used in a salad, just eat it raw with some dressing. These are best to just stir fry with a little bit of salt and a little bit of butter. They're really delicious and very, very nutritious. And early in the video, I mentioned that you should keep this away from lights. So I noticed that many people wonder why I mentioned that. And the reason for that is when you keep them away from lights, they'll grow nice and tall and tender. Previously, when I was growing this, I also took a few of these and put this in a cup. And I placed this under really good indoor lights. And as you can see, the greens are much shorter. These are really nice and tall, and these are shorter and more compact. And the leaves, as you can see, they're much greener and they mature quicker, so the stalk is a little bit tougher. They're still good to eat, but this is what I prefer, so that's the reason why. So let's go ahead and harvest these.